All right. Hey, welcome. My name's Rigo Murillo, and I want to welcome you again to another episode as we get this going of our Lunch Talk show. I am joined by my co host, Miss Snow Grindard, tower climbing grease monkeys extraordinaire, and I would say somebody who absolutely passionately loves what he's doing in this industry, and somebody who just messed with his light and now he looks like a lobster.
Dude, I got sun. I went to Bear Lake. I was balling out of control, just sea doing. I got thrown off twice. Crazy.
So it sounds like a good place, right? I'm actually looking forward to it myself. After leaving California almost 15 years ago, I have definitely lost my golden brown color. I miss that. I'm looking forward to getting in the sun here in the next few weeks. But we've got some pretty cool stuff to talk about. We've got a guest on today, Sam Tasker, the one and only. We'll be bringing him on in a second. But again, I just want to let you guys know, what is this about? This is a real simple, open conversation platform. We want to invite you guys to come in and chat. If you'd like to be a part of the show and join the discussions, let us know. Someone from the team will send you a link. But here's what we want to do. We're going to talk things that have to do with our industry, the renewable energy industry, and we want to bring topics up and see if we could help solve problems, but more importantly, just open up the conversation. So we'll be back right in a second. Again, welcome to Lunch Talk, Neal.
Roll that.
All right,
better,
awesome.
dude.
Sam, welcome.
Hey, good to be on the cube.
You're in the bottom cube on mine. Is that where you are?
Yeah, Sam likes being on the bottom.
Yeah, I'll look up and poke you guys like this.
Come on, Sam. I'll do this when you need to bring the energy.
That is actually pretty funny, Sam. You should just do it like that.
Yeah. hey, man, like take it easy.
That's Brady Bunch action.
So one of the things too is I forgot to mention, but again, we're live and we're really glad that you're here. This is a new little thing we're working out. We're calling it Lunch Talk. We just want to have an opportunity during the middle of the day on a Wednesday, on a hump day. And for most of us, we're getting ready to go into a pretty extended weekend. I know myself, I've been working towards this. 4th of July, holiday weekend. A lot of folks are getting ready to take off, but what a great time in the middle of the week to have a discussion and talk about some stuff. And how many of you got the email from ACP, American Clean Power, who, AKA used to be AWEA?
I did not get it, but I know what we're talking about because you told me. But dude, I can't believe it. They canceled the online thing. Like, why would you cancel the online thing?
I was having this discussion here earlier, actually, with Sam. Sam had some really good insight on it. Sam, why don't you share it, man? Because I thought the perspective you had on it was actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie, you softened me up a bit.
Okay, yeah, I'll break it down in a way that makes sense to me. You know, I think we often maybe forget everything that goes into these events when we go to them and have enjoyed them, and we forget what's behind the scenes and that there's a business running that show. And so my first thought is, you know, there are a combination of things that probably didn't line up. There probably wasn't enough demand from exhibitors. The other thing that came to mind is, you know, having went on my vacation, I go on vacations between holidays to avoid holidays. Does that make sense? I'm one of those guys. What I noticed in the Northeast, which is the same down here in the Southeast, is that the workers found other things to do in the hospitality and restaurant businesses. They found other things to do when their businesses were shut down. And as things are opening back up, they're not coming straight back to what they were doing before, unless it was a niche restaurant or fine dining or whatnot. Those folks have found other things to do. And when you look at places like airports, The planes feel full, but there's still not as many flights, and the airports are still empty. The restaurants aren't open. The shops aren't open. They have short hours. And so in an airport's case, they have 2-3 month background checks to get people back into the job. So as the gates have opened here within the past month or two, I think we're seeing a transition back into travel and hospitality. Likewise, everyone's trying to go on vacation and straining hospitality and restaurant even more. So for a conference, they probably had a cutoff date to give this planning group that couldn't meet their numbers with enough demand in a period of time where their workforce is extremely strained and they have plenty of demand from vacationers. That's my take is we've got to remember that planning group has to make money off of the event as well. And they made a decision to no go. So good for trying. And here's the other thing.
Hold on. I want to challenge
they moved from San Diego. They moved from San Diego to Texas during the summer.
Place was that like a water park or something?
Hey, I was looking forward to it.
I'm gonna take this Magic 8 Ball, and I think you got a Magic 8 Ball, Sam. I seen it back there. I'm gonna ask the 8 Ball.
I got one, dude. But I need to steal it from my 10-year-old.
I'm gonna ask it. Are we gonna meet up in December in Salt Lake City? It says, don't count on it. It seriously says, don't count on it, man.
My sources say no.
No, come on, show it.
Rigo,
it's too little.
We got to do the best tour ever, dude. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be the GOAT this year. My tour is gonna be the GOAT.
It's got to happen. Well, but this is the thing. This is exactly what I wanted to bring up. And when I was having a conversation with some folks from American Clean Power, and I get what they're doing. Okay, listen, the world's been a little head over. Everything's been going on. There's a lot happening, and this isn't about whether what side of the fence you're on. Oh, okay, hold on. Look what I just got. All right, let's see.
Oh, we do 3 in a row. It's like
okay. All right. So what's the question?
Are we going to meet up in December in Salt Lake City?
Okay. Are we going to meet up in December in Salt Lake City? Come on. I got without a doubt.
Oh, I hope so, man. I hope so.
I got without a doubt.
Because we got
two
pull up to that show.
That weren't looking so good. I think that's awesome. We're gonna have to start referencing the.
That's funny that you had one and I had one too. I had one when I was a kid, and then I just always keep it back there because it's fun.
Oh, that's hilarious! Listen, dude, if you are watching for the first time, welcome. This is Lunch Talk. One of the things I love it. One of the things we ask is that if you're watching, man, make sure to subscribe and follow us, but hashtag live in the comments. That's a huge thing for us. It'll help. It allows us to be seen more. But if you're watching it live, hashtag live. If you're watching this a repost, hashtag repost in the comment section. Whether you're watching this in our Facebook groups, if you're watching this on our company pages, in LinkedIn, specifically to our audience and our market in LinkedIn, or even on our YouTube, it doesn't really matter. Drop a comment in and we'll be able to respond. We want to know what your thoughts are, and we'd love to have you even take a moment to talk with us with this awesome little panel here we got.
Yeah.
Neal and Sam.
Dude, Sam, tell us what you do, man, because I just met Sam. Sam looks like he's got it going on. He's like sitting in an awesome office. Like, what do you do, Sam?
Well, I drive children around for school and summer camps, and when I'm not doing that as a good active dad, right now it's been over a year. I'm selling analytics services for AEP improvement, and my background and where I met most of my friends in the industry is really wind O&M. So I still consider myself an O&M guy. But I've had my taste at selling tech for the past year, Neal. Thanks for asking. What
is AEP improvement?
Ooh, AEP is annualized energy production. That's the megawatts. Right? Okay. If you can make a megawatt percent or 2% more per year,
squeeze it out of there. You get it out.
You're gonna find $500,000 to $1 million a year.
Oh, for sure.
From a percent or two And there's some things that you don't see with a lot of the standard tools that we're able to do with some very sophisticated tools and a great team. So
that's awesome, man. So you diagnose it and you're like, figure it out. You work with like electrical engineering guys as well as like people who develop software and like OEMs, and you just like combine all the knowledge, and then you're like, hey, I think we can tweak this, and then
the team built an algorithm, and these are mostly PhDs in turbine controls, aerodynamics, seasonality impacts to wind and wind sighting design. The smart guys that actually make our industry work.
The guys that happened before, the grease monkeys.
Right. That's these guys, and we use a process-based approach, which we're canning it. We're canning it into a more automated algorithm so we can deploy it much easier for owners and operators out there.
Man, that sounds like money is being printed like as you speak. That sounds awesome, man.
That's the idea. It's
so
true,
cool.
but the industry, as you know, is competitive. There are a lot of similar messages. There's a lot of players
wasteful too.
and our owner operators are extremely skeptical. They're tough. They ask good questions, and they make sure they know what they're getting into before they do. So there's a lot of hard work that has to go into to getting started and delivering results. That's important.
Where are you based out of? What state are you in?
I'm in the best state in the nation. That's Florida, down here in the southeast. Home to NextEra and Siemens Gamesa, two of my previous employers.
We got to make it down there, Rigo.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to the East Coast. I just got to make it down south.
That's it. No,
I got invited to Siemens a couple times. Those dudes are real cool, man.
Yeah, I'm right down the street from the Siemens headquarters.
Strategically located. Doesn't it seem like everybody is just like I'm moving to Florida or I'm moving to Texas? Like, my buddy Cummings just moved up to Florida, right? Or down to Florida. He's like, I'm going to Florida, man. Sold Whirlwind, is like, I'm going to go live my best life in Florida. I'm like, dude, good. Get after it, man.
You know who's doing that? It's all the good looking and smart people, Neal. That's what I've noticed. I don't want to talk politics right now, so let's just talk about.
No, but you know what? Let's talk. Let's bring this up, okay? So you guys, outside of the good-looking folks, what you brought up was something pretty interesting, and a lot of folks are moving to Florida, to Texas. As a small business owner, I've been very fortunate to have my business in the state of Kansas, where we haven't had a whole lot of regulation, but we've been considering this as well, looking at, well, do we move our company to Texas? Do we move our company to Florida? Facebook user says #WindPower. I really wish I knew who Facebook user was.
That was me. That was totally me. Like, what the hell?
But there's a reason for it, and it's interesting right now because as things are happening and we look, okay, so American Wind Power, unfortunately, came to a decision and they have canceled the August O&M show that most of us who are in the area of business development, if we are out there trying to bring a new product to the market and find solutions, there's only a couple good shows, right? There's only a couple good shows. There's plenty of opportunity, but in the B2B scale where we have the opportunity to have these tight conversations with members of our community within the renewable energy space, this is a good one. So we were talking a little bit about it earlier. They've canceled the show, but now what? So here's what they're doing. They're going to go virtual. So this isn't about what they did is right or wrong. I do want to get into the discussion a little more and deeper into it, but is this the new norm? So look what's happening right now, guys, right? I love that what this has done is help create opportunity like this for us to have this platform. But I want to hear from you real quick, Sam, on this is, do you think this is the new norm? Question number one. Question number two, and this will be for you as well, Neal, but are we ready? Are companies ready to start doing business this way in a digital era that I believe is going to take look, you can't do this 2 years in a row, not create a void that isn't going to be filled by something else. That's my personal opinion on this, but
Well,
So I want to hear from you guys.
And maybe you just answer that question, right? The new norm suggests everything's going to change and stay that way. The reality is the market's changing, right? We're coming off of the PTC cliff pre-COVID, and then COVID hits, and the PTC cliff momentum carried into the industry. A lot of demand, not enough supply for technicians and services, and OEMs and owner operators doing their best to commission while continuing to operate. How does that play into the back office business and conferences? It put a damper on things this year, and I think that you're going to see that last throughout the year, and I think it'll evolve back to similar patterns that we saw before. Whether it's filled by the same or different players, I don't know, but I think we'll see a similar pattern the rest of this year. It's already halfway through 21. Right?
I know.
Can you guys believe that?
No.
Yeah. No, it's coming quick.
No, I can't. I can't. It's crazy. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my gosh, the show. And I'm like, wait a second.
We're all still mentally in 20, right? It's this lurk that never ended.
We were together. We were working together on this, and we were at the show. Yeah, mentally, I think we're in 19. We are still in 19, phasing into 20. Think about it. You and I had taken a trip. We were at a conference in Las Vegas, and then we went to San Diego. It was right at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
And, all of us know this. The Coronado show is how it kicks us off, right? It kicks us off, and it helps us start to understand the trends and what's happening and what are the needs and how are we going to be able to impact the market. There's a lot of folks that are working on things from a policy side, and that's a whole separate segment of what it is that we do. But you and I, Neal, and Sam, so many others that we do business with, we're on an operational side that says, how are we going to increase performance, improvements on site, safety? What changes are going to help our industry become better and more efficient at what we're doing, right? And so
down here in the southeast, we wanted to
Oh, there we go.
That was me, dude. I'm sorry.
No,
I totally interrupted you.
But you're right, Sam. You nailed something, dude. You guys, we are sitting in this era right now where I think we're all still stuck in this 2020, and it's like, dude, we're halfway through 2021. We had somebody that said PTC cliff, right? Here's a good question. Do you think we would be in a good position right now in this market if it wasn't for how strong we were coming into 2021? Think about all the repower and the PTCs and all of the work that was already set in motion. Sam, you mentioned this earlier this morning when we had a call on something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen a few of those, and businesses don't react as quickly as a lot of things we're used to, right? Businesses take months to ramp up, supply chains, resourcing, hiring, staffing, planning, and so you're going to see an effect of that. And as that relaxes due to the new administration and some of those changes, maybe that'll flatten out. I'm not able to tell the future, but I think that definitely drove a surge of demand into 21, and maybe folks are too busy to have gone to conferences anyway this year. So I don't know if they're related, but I think you'll see some of the conference planning activity come back. That's my opinion. So I don't think this is the new norm.
All right, Neal, what's your take on it?
It's like, no way this is normal. No way that we're going to be doing just all virtual all the time. Not going to happen. People need human interaction. You might not like shake hands like you used to, but you'll do like the fist bump you do with that, whatever, right? People need to get together, eat, drink, like talk shop. Like that's going to happen. I know it's happening. I'm going to make it happen. Even if the ACP or whatever doesn't make it happen, I'm going to make it happen because I'm not stopping. I need that. Like these technicians out there in the field need that interaction, man. They need people to show up to their win sites and be there. But like, as far as like the AWIA shows, man, like I just got to like take my time and just say like, thank you for everything they've done. And I know they'll continue to do it. They're not going to drop that ball, right? Like that's a huge moneymaker for them. They funnel that money into, into a lot of different efforts. They got the Wind Workforce Standards Subcommittee. I'm a part of that. They've got, just great conferences, good information sharing. They've got a legitimate business and a good funnel there, and they're going to continue to funnel that money into the hands of like lobbyists and politicians, because that's really what they're doing to keep this thing pushing. But now that the administration is more on their side, I don't even know if they have to push it as much, or if it's just like a free lane and they're just like, hey, we got this extra cash and we don't need to give it to lobbyists because we already got our way. But you mentioned PTC Cliff. I don't really know what you meant by that. But I think the PTC is garbage. I need to get rid of it, like kick it to the curb. Like I'm tired of this stupid wave. Again, I'm not obviously like billions of dollars in debt, like building, wind farms or whatever. So I have a unique position here, but the PTC, man, just need to wean off of that, man. Stop smoking that PTC crack pipe, man, and get the hell on. We're trying to save the fucking planet, man. Like everybody's on board, dude. That next generation's coming in. The old people that don't think that we're polluting, they're fucking dying. So like, whatever, man. It's a new generation. We don't need this shit. Like all these old birds that are up there in Congress or whatever, they're fucking getting gone, man. Like get rid of them, so.
Well, we might get there. The reality is that drove a surge of purchasing by the owners, a surge of manufacturing by the OEMs, and they had limitations on when and how they had to get it in the ground to achieve a subsidy. And those, call it what you will, they drive businesses to do things. Now, if you talk to the developers and the business owners and you look at the pattern, wind has found ways to continue, and so has solar, has continued to grow with lower and lower LCOE, lower levelized cost of energy. And we've got to a point where with or without the PTC, the industries are going to make it. I worry about ongoing PTCs because it creates waste, right? And, any subsidy.
Have you seen the repower? Like that is the biggest, nastiest secret that we've got in the industry, and we're scrapping things left and right. This shit is not green, and I'm pissed off about it. Like, why the fuck would you have a damn thing involved where you have to scrap good parts? Why are we scrapping good gearboxes? This is ridiculous. This is not how we should be doing things. And you have to scrap the good gearboxes just to get the money.
So Neal, tell us how you really feel,
dude. I'm on fire, bro.
I'm not getting any emotion out of you right now. It's hard. It's hard.
I hate it. I hate
right now. It's really
waste.
hard to gauge you.
I hate waste.
I get it.
We're not doing what we're setting out to do. There's a goal, and we're not following the goal. We're incentivizing companies to be wasteful. It's stupid. And if anybody gets a hold of this, it's going to be a heyday. You think that a reporter taking some pictures of a company burying blades is a bad thing? Wait until they figure out there's scrap heaps of gearboxes that could have still been used. Come on, man. We got to be able to take care of ourselves and be accountable for what we do. And these PTCs are driving us into that dumb shit.
I think there's arguments to be made. The bright side of some of that is metal can be smelted, right?
True.
Right. There's an upside there, and there's a market for metal, and we all know the metal guys in gals in the industry. There's positive news about the fiberglass, which was definitely an eyesore and a question for a lot of folks now for the past 5 years. And we saw some news with Vestas and some of our other big players who have innovated to deal with that. And the reality is with all of these points, that businesses and renewables are still driven by profit requirements.
Yeah.
And fiberglass, just like recycling in small towns, if you really care in a small town, you have your own recycle bin and you put it in your truck and you take it to the recycle center once a month, because no one can afford to pick up your plastics. I did that when I was out in northeastern Colorado once a week. It was like the event of the week. We go get a Slurpee and drop off the plastics. Nobody's going to pick it up because it's not profitable. Even garbage companies are
Yeah,
making money
not here
off
in
of
Utah.
their
We're not
garbage.
recycling. It's crazy.
So that's where, you know, the innovations required at the business level, and that's where you hope that, you know, you get a save, you get a mulligan from
Yeah.
what happened with the repowers, I think, because it's still trying to drive asset life and more power. You know, those AEP numbers, right?
Yep.
The production improvement when we repowered Siemens turbines was double-digit AEP improvement.
Yeah.
Big benefit from clean power. And more energy to the grid, more money into the renewable companies' pockets. That is also a good thing. So there's some sides of it that, you know, we gotta keep working through. You're right.
Yeah, and there's positives, man. I know I went off and around because I don't like seeing waste, but we waste stuff through the O&M stages too. I don't know how many techs are out there swapping parts. You know, I made fun of this in a YouTube video. It's called, and like, do you see that one, Rigo? I was like, part swapper, part swapper. I was doing like a funny video.
Should we pull it up? It
No,
up?
that thing is ridiculous and funny. But like, the thing is about it, we waste so much during the O&M stages too. Like, there's parts that are just bad, and then we send them back, and like they could be repaired. There's like a little resistor on them, and then that's like a $5,000 circuit board, right? And we do not repair them. OEMs are like, we don't repair them. Like, we just,
and OEMs don't repair them because their warranty team is in a different cost center in their business. Right. So they bill their warranty group internally.
Right.
They would never innovate a way to save the money when the other business unit pays for it. That drove me nuts when I was working at the OEM.
And really, I guess you just follow the money, right? And you follow like, okay, this is why it makes sense, because it makes more sense in the accounting than it does in real life. And that's when I think just the layperson is just going like, really? Why are we doing this? And that's why I was getting so upset about the repower stuff, because as a layperson, just like observing, I'm like, this is a ton of waste. Does it get recycled and get back put into the loop? Hopefully, right? But you hope that it really does, because like really good quality steel, like Winergy's using, like that is very valuable, and to take that and to just like mix it in with a bunch of other metals and deteriorate the metallurgy, like that's a waste.
Yeah.
And we took a long time to mine that stuff, to harden it, to get it so it could actually be used in a gearbox like that and take so much pressure. We need to be able to send these gearboxes back to the manufacturers, maybe have them pay it something and then really redo them. But to have them sit in yards and like not have the customers use them, it's just ridiculous. And so that's where I just stand up and say something about it, because this doesn't make sense.
There's some markets there, and I think back to the the other point of the effective subsidies that I was referring to is that we've learned to run on fumes in the renewables industry. You don't go into too many renewables offices that have dark carpet, leather chairs, and whiskey on the shelves, right? We're running in old offices. They're dingy. That's a bad example. They're dingy. Okay. They're dusty, and we are a humble, conservative industry because we don't have the margins. We don't have extra people. That's what I mean. If we keep getting subsidized, we wouldn't be as efficient and as good as we are today.
All right, so let's stop right there. Okay, because this brings up a really great topic. And it's funny because I was thinking about this and I want to bring it up. So real quick, for those of you who are joining, thank you. This is Lunch Talk. Listen, this is an open conversation. If you haven't figured this out already, we are not standing here on a political side. We're not promoting anything other than ourselves, and a conversation among friends, peers, and folks within our industry. We talked about this last week, Neal and I, how grateful we are for what this market has provided for us and our families. I would have to say that with almost everyone I have met, very, very few of us have got into this industry by choice in the beginning that said, hey, one day I'm going to grow up and I want to be a wind tech. I want to be in the renewable industry. And you know what? There's going to be a time where that's going to happen. And I believe that generation is now building, right? When we grew up,
I'm helping build those people, man.
Right?
Like
when we were being raised, there were opportunities for us to go into an industry. This was not one of them. I remember there was a time when I was in California and I was looking at going into energy, which I eventually did, but I went into a different segment. And it was interesting because at that particular time, renewables was very, very rare, very young, and it it has grown rapidly over the last 20, 30, and 40 years. And that's what I want to bring up. Sam, you mentioned something about us being a very conservative industry in terms of not the money is not there like others. And that's because truly, when it comes to energy, compare us to coal, hydro, to nuclear, to all the different forms of producing energy. Our technology is constantly learning, improving. And the truth is, I would have to say that not at least until the last 10 years, we haven't seen this much growth. And now we're getting professionals from so many different other industries. We're getting large companies that are investing into uh, providers and suppliers and solutions and owners. This didn't happen. So how much of what do you think is maybe not right is coming from the simple fact that we're just a baby in an energy industry and we're still learning?
I forgot where I read it from one of our influencers out there, but industries take 30 to 60 years to mature. We're in like year 20 going on year 30, really. Even though there were some 80s and 90s guys and gals out there, it's still maturing. The market's maturing. Our power prices and our power market is one of the most competitive in the world because we have some of the lowest rates. Talk to your European buddies and hear about their electric bills and their cost of gasoline and automobiles. We sometimes forget we're pretty myopic in the United States. We sometimes forget how competitive we are, and that's what I think has driven it. It's power pricing, and that's also driven innovation in fossil side of the business. I think the people who came in to win early, that ran win, and have innovated win, are the same people that came from fossil. It's the same people that know how to move electrons. Whether they worked on one fueled by a fluid or by the wind, we have 99% the same business, the same activities. So some of this is getting politicized. They have learned how to do a lot with very little as well. But you've seen, again, the price of generating wind and solar get lower and lower to be more competitive. And that's what's driving the shift in the businesses and the investors.
Absolutely, man. Sam, you offer just like a great perspective, dude. This is a good panel, man. Thanks for inviting him because he's just like really logical and can explain everything.
Yes.
Where I'm like fucking like a loose cannon.
Sam is the yang to my yang.
Dude, Sam's awesome.
I love Sam too. I was like, Sam, you got to be on, dude.
My thing is right now, it's like, how do we sustain the growth? Like we keep talking about it, but it's just been so rough to sustain the growth. And I don't know if like the back offices with the engineering support, development support, guys like Sam, like all of this stuff, like, is that needing to grow as well? Or are those guys solid and they're just staying put? And then only thing that needs to grow is like the guys in the field, like installing them. Obviously, like manufacturing is ramping up too, and they can't really keep up. And it seems like they're selling turbines before they're even making them. I mean, didn't everybody just get a big chuckle out of the fact that GE launched the Halide like last year or whatever? And then like months later, they had already sold it to like so many people and they hadn't even tested it offshore yet. I was like, whoa, this is a big gamble. We're putting a lot of trust in the old meatball here, eh? And like, I mean, it's nuts, dude.
Well, hey, on the other hand, so I'll keep yin yang and you guys. I think there's some offshore owners running these big sophisticated machines that are starting to come, to go self-perform right out of the gate. How is that possible? And how is it that people are still taking long-term contracts onshore? And this is answering your question. People are starting to identify risks better and the variability in their expenses. And so if you have a super reliable offshore machine in design that's a little bit over-engineered, why are you going to put a overpriced OEM contract in place there? And if you have an onshore under-engineered turbulent wind site with uber long blades and barely upgraded generators, why don't you let the OEM worry about that one? So there's this shift in the thought process of always self-performing onshore and letting the OEMs bring their traditional model from Europe, you see this shift happening where owners are looking at variability. And to answer your question on that machine, I'd like to see the numbers and the design and where this thing came from. And maybe it makes sense from that perspective.
I know the heights, the weights, the output, but I don't know the technicality. Like, I don't know how that power is being converted. I don't know any of that stuff. But I mean, like, I love it, dude. Like wind turbines are like cars for me, right? Like I get in one of those things and I just get excited, man. I'm like, oh, this is so cool, dude. Because they're modern marvels, man. Like, we can talk as much trash as we want to on OEM for like trying to like funnel more money into their business model, but like, dude, all of them are making amazing machines. Yep. Yes, are most of them prototypes that they test in the field? Yeah, for sure. But they're still amazing, And usually, if they're under warranty, they're taking care of them. There's not that many brand new wind turbines just chilling there, not being, taken care of, right? They'll get after it. So, I mean,
think about what we've done. So before we get too far, Sam, I know that you had a cutoff time. I want to first off thank you. For those of you guys who do not know Sam Tasker, you should. He's a swell guy about 2 or 3 days out of the week. The rest of the time, he's an asshole. But no, Sam Tasker, look him up, find him on LinkedIn. You guys make sure to follow him. Sam's got not only a great view on a lot of things that are going on, but you'll find out that his years in this industry has really gave him a wonderful way of being able to speak wisdom into me. And I know I've really enjoyed not only my relationship with Sam, but the ability to call on him and get this type of objective view that helps calm down the more emotional folks like myself and Neal. So anyways,
dude, and
Sam,
shout out to Sam and his company. Check it out, Wind Esco. You can check it out online. I just checked it out. Super cool, man. I'm digging your site here. And you got my boys from Long Road Energy, Jeremy Law, on there. Yeah, man. We're connected, dude. I love these people.
Yeah, we are 1 degree away in a small industry. So it's good to connect, Neal. And humbled to join you guys on this first live event, Rigo. Really cool. Keep it up. How many people did we have so far today? Do you have any
I don't know. We'll take a look at it. And just so you know, get your numbers right, buddy. This is episode 2 of Lunch Talk.
We did a solo run. 2. It was pretty good. If you haven't checked it out already, it's fun.
You have to check. The first one was more of a test. So just like the OEMs, we test our stuff live too. We figure it out right here, right in front of everybody. We did, and we went on for 10 minutes, and we weren't live. Yeah, and we were like, and it was so good. And then we realized, oh shoot, we're not even live. And so we had to start all over, and we lost the whole drive. But anyways, listen, if you're watching this show and you like, please thumb it up, like, celebrate, whatever. I don't know what platform you're on, but you guys like and subscribe and share this, please. We want to get this out to others. Hashtag live. If you're watching it live, if you're watching it on a replay, hashtag replay, but drop some comments in. Let us know what you want to hear from us and what you want to talk about. We're going to get into it. Sam Tasker, thank you very much. You're welcome to drop off if you need to. Otherwise, you want to hang around.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
See you, buddy.
Sam, thanks, man. Good to connect here.
Yeah, Sam is awesome.
Man, I think people want to see me rant more. I saw some of the comments that were like, I love it when Neal rants. That's funny, man. I need to calm down.
Just a little.
I need to calm my butt down, dude.
Maybe if we were doing like a Spotify.
No kidding, huh? Like hopefully LinkedIn doesn't like flag us,
shoot. I didn't even think about it. Some of the guys were like, hey man, you need to throw this on a podcast format. You know what we'll do is
let's do it.
We'll pull the audio off. I don't know if we'll be able to do it live. I don't think we can do it live.
I know how to do it.
Okay, well we'll talk about it. Then. Yeah, we'll talk about it. But no, I mean there's a lot of things going on right now and with our industry, and I don't think it's just us. See, that's the thing. We're in the renewable energy sector. Okay. But what does that mean? That means a lot of the jobs and the challenges and the needs that we are going through are no different than many other industries. We just happen to be in this segment of energy. Okay. Yeah. But if you are in business and you're trying to build for yourself a funnel of opportunity. You're working your lines. You're trying to figure out how to bring solution to your customer, how to get your product to market. All of these things, it's no different. You're just doing it in a different industry. And right now, with everything that's happened with COVID, in the recent months, almost 2 years now, everything that's been going on in the markets is changing how we do business. And this is what I keep coming to, because being somebody who works primarily in business development and marketing myself with our company, and Neal, very much the same way.
Yeah.
Your business relies on the ability to bring knowledge to a market, right? So both of us have a business where we're working it online through social media networks, but most importantly, it's that person to person opportunity for us. That's really where we make the greatest impact, because in everything we do, it's about developing relationships so that we can find the solutions for our market.
Yeah.
So the question that I keep coming to is, I'd asked if you think this is the norm. How can what we're doing today not provide a solution, and how can this not become normal? Like, so think about it this.
I see what you're saying. What
There
we're
was
doing
there's
today.
right, so exactly, like once you feel a void, once you're able to fill a void with a solution. So right now we are bringing information to the market.
Yep.
We're giving opportunity for people to have discussions and talks.
Yep.
What if there's somebody out there right now that could very well put together a program that can do a virtual type of event, that can build something very robust, that targets exactly what so many small and medium customers and end users and owners need. What happens if they bring that solution before we start getting back to the show? Why would we keep going back to shows?
That tangible, man, that tangible thing, like it just draws people in. Like for me, I've got to feel and touch tools. I've got to, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking of this as like a WinTech and an O&M guy.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I've got to be able to feel, touch tools. I got to be able to like really like try stuff out. It's not so much that we can't see things online, and like even if we had this 3D experience and we were involved like that, like it just wouldn't be the same. You'd see the functionality, but you wouldn't necessarily see the quality. Like when a company drops like a really new product, it has to be out there, but they have to have a different sales force or a different influencer to like put it in the hands of people. So that's one thing that I think is just going to draw people back. But then the also it's just like the interaction, you know, the hand to hand kind of thing, and like, but the solution that you're talking about, it exists, right? It exists in a way where, you know, digitally people could sign in if they all knew what time and what place, they could sign in and they could just get it going, right? And I think that's, I have to be honest, Rigo, like I have not been a part of any virtual trade show, any virtual event to date. Like I refuse, because I just think
Well, I have personally, I
yeah,
have no value from it.
right. Yeah.
Right? Now, if I was
But don't you feel like everybody that you could ever connect with just knows who you are already, and they're going to connect with you and they want to work with
but
you?
how did I build that, Neal?
Years of, you know, whatever. I bet that's
Well,
how I feel.
I built that by being in a setting like these conferences where I get to meet you, where I get to shake your hand, right?
Yep.
And you know, going to wind farms and visiting. No, don't get me wrong. You know this. See, you service a part of the market that very few people get to service. How many wind farms has it been that you said you've been to? What was it?
It was like 120. Well, we gotta put the list together, dude, and just share it.
Yeah.
It was like it's getting up there, man.
Now we're not talking about 120 visits. We're talking about
Different locations,
right. Yeah.
around
Exactly.
U.S.,
We're talking about 120.
U.S., Canada,
Yeah.
Germany, even some in Mexico. So like,
there is a huge part of the market that's the workforce, the folks that are executing everything that's being created, designed, so on, so forth. They're out there getting things done, and they don't get the opportunity to get out to
No.
these trade shows and meet. Right, they're dependent on this information to come down from their companies. So think about it, right? The lack of these shows are hurting what group, right? They're hurting the developments. They're hurting the small businesses, the startups, right? They're hurting the guy that
We need those
they're
because
hurting the technician.
those small
That,
guys are usually disruptors, innovators,
right,
people who see like a new lane that could add a ton of value. Like I
right.
was talking about the value prop of actually like repairing used parts. Like that's a huge one. Like all of these things that smaller businesses can do better than bigger businesses, because big businesses, and many times they move at glacier speeds and they just don't have that mobility and that uh, I guess being able to like be responsive and be creative in many ways. They have to like have this super planned out deal, and
Well, I
smaller
mean, the
businesses
thing is
don't.
that a small business and a startup requires. I mean, they're desperately looking into uh, uh, the relationship that they're not able to compete. And here's the thing, right? Where's the solution? Where's the solution for the startup, for the small business to break through into the market and talk to a larger owner operator who they have a solution or a value that they can bring to them? And this can't be it. So I know we're going to get back to normal. I know we're going to bring our conferences back, and I'm looking forward to it. But here's the reality: where is the solution for what's becoming a new norm? And here's what I mean by that is we cannot ignore that what we have brought into our market with technology has now catapulted the opportunity for people to create and build businesses like never before through virtual and online.
Oh, dude, so
This
much,
did not exist like it did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago at this level,
dude. It's
right?
amazing what people can do with their own brand and what they can. I mean, I got a guy who worked for Spencer Ogden, which is like, seems really like preppy kind of UK based um, recruiting firm, right? And then
Okay.
he went off on his own and started it. And yesterday I saw him on LinkedIn, like with like 6, 7 ladies. Like he posted himself like in a Speedo or something below these ladies. And like he's like pushing his own brand, but it's like getting people's attention. And he's doing it on LinkedIn, and it's allowing him to be seen. And it's the funniest thing, right? To see something like that. You're like, oh, that's not professional, but it's funny. And it gets people's attention, and he's like bringing people in. So like, that's kind of like his catch, or it's like a little funnel, right? And everybody has that ability to do that. What's funny is that so many of these smaller companies that have been around a while, they have older people who don't understand social at the helm, and they are very reluctant. Like there is a company today that if they signed on a piece of paper with me, I could blow that company the fuck up, like to the point where it would be amazing for them. But they're so old, they just won't do it. You know what I mean? Like they just won't. They're stuck. And
Do you really
people
think that's an area of age, or do you think that's an area of
fear.
fear and innovation?
Mhm.
So that I think that's something we can save for another our next show. But I do want to kind of touch on that because here's the
Yeah.
reality, right? We have this fear of missing out. We have this area of being afraid to put yourself out there. We've talked about this last time, right? But I think we should get a little more into it, and maybe on next week, what we'll do is we'll find some of these innovators, some of these small businesses that are out there uh, that want to get up here and talk a little bit about the challenges that they're going through because they're willing to kind of go against the norm. But there is something to be said, okay, about the fact that today's technology, today's market, today's buying dude, I no longer have to stand in line anywhere. Mass or no mass, everything can be done through my app. I can order my groceries and show up in the front, tell them I'm in booth number 3, and within 60 seconds, someone's coming out and bringing all of our groceries. I can have stuff delivered to my house. Like, think about this.
Yeah, I don't think that
Industry,
sustains.
the restaurant market,
That's not going to stick. That's not going to stick, man. Our planet can't sustain that. Like the amount of transportation of food around the planet is going to change. We all have to like be able to grow locally and stuff, man. Like I don't think Walmart and all that and Amazon sustain more than 20 years. Like it's just developing too much waste and it's going to kill the whole planet and people are going to rise up against it, dude. I don't think we're doing that anymore, man. That was old 1970 shit where gas was cheap and things were able to be transported. But I get what you're saying though.
well,
You know
what
what I mean?
I'm talking about is like if I roll up to Target or Sam's.
I love Target.
But think about it. This is what I'm talking about.
I got the shirt at Target.
Now let's talk about what happened. They had to downsize their team.
Yep.
Almost every retail commercial spot now has these really amazing self kiosks that are working amazingly well. Okay, I'm seeing
Really
them
easy to
everywhere.
use.
I was talking to a local grocery store here, and it's a fairly large chain in the state of Kansas, but they have replaced over half of their cashier areas with these new kiosks. They've actually increased the amount of areas that people can check out in times almost 3. And the manager was telling me that they used to have a constant of about 120 to 140 employees. And now, because of everything that's happened, they only have 50. But guess what? They're running their entire operation on almost a third of their people because innovation was forced. They utilized technology. They increased the way that they needed to do business and to keep their efficiency, to not lose their customers. And guess what? Their costs are now down.
Yep.
They're still moving the product they need to move, and they embraced innovation. What I'm looking at is right now in our industry, within energy, within sales, within marketing, within our segment.
Yeah, you're seeing the correlation.
The next person to embrace innovation that's going to absolutely disrupt the way business is doing, and it will become the new norm. There's no way that right now you can continue creating these voids and it not get filled with a better solution. There's no way.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, there's a lane, right? And it's like we were talking about, like, hey, there's an open lane, and some of us are sitting behind Maseratis and ready to hit that lane and then pass up all these people that are stuck in traffic, right? And then some of us are just like busy, dinking around with the radio and like sitting in an old F-150. But like I think that there has to be innovators. And I think one person that you and I both admire in business, because I've seen some of your posts, is Elon Musk. And I talked about him this weekend with some family, right? And we thought, what makes him great? Is he great? And what drives it all? And I said, you know what? I think it's the ability to not have fear of those who are going to try to shut him down. Because he went after a market that had already been tapped into in 1990 with Tesla. So like Saturn had created the electric car. And if you've ever seen that movie, Who Killed the Electric Car, you knew there was some shady shit. Like there was big business that were shutting that down, right? And they didn't want that to come yet. And Elon took it on and said, you know what? I'm going to take this on and I'm going to make it as big as I possibly can. So you can't shut me up. Right. And he just like gathered the people he needed to put his own investment in and then just did the same thing with SpaceX. But like,
he hasn't stopped and he's not afraid. You nailed it, man.
He's not afraid. He's like, here we are. I know that there's people that are going to want to whack me. Like literally, I bet you there's two people that would like to like.
And we're not saying that he's not scared, right? You and I know this. It's not
the difference between scared and fear. Like you push through. You can be scared, but you push through so that you can continue on. And that's exactly what he did. And I think that's what's going to be able to happen here in renewables. Those who don't have fear and or deal with it in a better way and use it to fuel the fire and say, hey, things are broken right now. You know, there's things that are messed up about this. Let's talk about them. If anybody's even listening or even willing to listen, and I can catch some attention, like then we're going to like double down, because everybody has access to capital right now. Like you think about it, many people limit their growth potential based on like, oh, I don't know if I could get a loan. Oh, I don't know if anybody can invest. Dude, if you have the passion and you have the plan, like you're on fire, and you just have to figure out who's going to throw those logs in, man. Because there is like abundance right now, man. There's so many people with just millions in their bank account that are willing to take a risk because they can.
You're absolutely right. And it's more than that. Listen, if you're going to create a new product or solution and you don't know how to fund it to get to the market, go find somebody else who's looking to bring their startup business and willing to put some skin in the game with you that can solve that solution. There are more ways than the normal to bring something out. I want to bring something here before we take off, but Neal, you got some stuff coming. You've got a huge tour getting ready to get set up. Yeah. And I want to throw that out there because I'm excited about what it is that you do. Give us a short description again. Tell us how that's going. Yeah. What do we need to look for? And right now, you guys, if you're watching, do me a favor, let us know that you're watching. Tell us that you appreciate this. We want to hear feedback from you. Neal and I both. Absolutely. We are working hard to bring in more guests, more co-hosts. We can't wait for this to be a really great discussion that is in regards to what it is that we do in our industry. And we want to help. It doesn't matter where it is, whether it's questions in small business, marketing, advertising. How do we enter this market? How do we get into the industry as a technician? How do we grow? Where do we think the market is going?
Yeah.
Guys, I don't care.
And we could talk about grimy day-to-day culture too.
That's right.
I mean, Rigo and I both been there.
Day, I don't care.
Yeah, we could do ragged day. We could talk about grimy culture. We could talk about what it's like to hang and bang. We could talk about what it's like to, stack and track. We can talk about all that, buddy. Like whatever, man. Like we've been there. We know that. We're vets, man. Like that's the thing. Yep. Rigo and I, between the years of us, like we stack them up, man. This is more than 20 years experience, right? So
it was crazy. I was just filling my son in who just got back after being on the road for about 6 weeks. And I was explaining to him the tricks I used to use to keep my boots clean, right? And I was like, depends on where you're at. If you're in construction phase, I was like, we were talking about that. And he was like, okay. And it's awesome. We talked about it last week, but to have my son who grew up in this industry or, watching his father build himself in the industry. And now my son's a wind tech, climbing wind turbines. I love it. Listen, #live if you're watching it live, like, subscribe, please let us know your thoughts. Again, we want to be able to provide more for you. If you haven't read it, listen, we want you to subscribe to our community. And what we're using is a system called Community. You text live to 316-799-8052. Text live to 316-799-8052. And this is what happens. You're going to get my community contact and you can save it. But here's what it is. This is when we're going to let you know when you want to go live. If you want to know more about information that's out there, just put something in there. Say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And you guys, it comes right to me or my team. We're going to respond and we're going to do what we can.
I had a guy. I talked to a guy yesterday, man. His name's Justin. He's up in Canada, and he called me because he wants to buy a bunch of hats for his crew. Like he's got 4 or 5 sites, and he works for Blue Water. And he's like, I want to buy 25 hats for all the sites. And I was like, hell yeah, right? So we'll just make some custom stuff for him. But he goes, I need to figure out how to create a different solution for some of these problems we're having on some of these GEs and Siemens towers. He's operating on his own. And he's like, man, how do I replace these yaw drives better? What are there some other solutions out there? Like we're running into all these proprietary boundaries, right? Where oh, that's proprietary. Oh, you got to hire this crew to come out. But he has willing and capable hands that could do it. There's literally just a piece of the puzzle that's just missing. I think maybe we could even talk to guys like that on here and solve his problems right here on live, and then have everybody else go, ooh, and then go, hey, that's a good idea, right? So because we're in a different age now, man. Things are going to be busted wide open. We can talk openly and solve people's problems, because honestly, if we're just so busy, like hoarding information, we're not going to grow as an industry like we need to, man. There's enough work out there. Like, trust me, dude, I can tell you right now, General Electric has like 100 open positions throughout their organization. That is a lot, 100. Yeah. Like, but they don't have qualified people to put in there. Could they put people in from like, just randomness that don't have the, the experience? Yeah, but we need qualified people. So like, even the people that are trying to like, claim proprietary, they can't even like staff enough people. So it's just,
we're growing. So, all right, tell us about the tour, Neal.
Okay, so I can't share my screen, but I can tell you, we've got. I just dropped a video on LinkedIn, just like I was messing around in the rain, but we got this new F450, 2021 F450, and a brand new free ride, 42-foot long toy hauler that we're loading down with moduline cabinets, the best tools in the game, everything you would need as a traveling wind tech, from PPE to harnesses to torque wrenches, hand tools, everything you can imagine. And we're just coming out to like show everybody what's the best of the best, and have you guys put your hands on it, use it up tower. We're even going to solar sites across the country, starting in California, going all the way to Connecticut, and then making our way back. It's going to be a 2-month tour, starts in September, in the beginning of September, and we're going all the way into like mid-October. And then we're going to pick it up again and then go to the American Clean Power in Salt Lake City. So Rigo, I'm really hoping that we get there to that show and it's open, because I don't want to forego that, man. I really want to show all that. But what we're doing is creating community. Just so you know, the heart of this tour is to create community, to bring people together. We do that digitally on the Tower Climbing Grease Monkeys group. Everybody loves the swag. Everybody loves like a good time. We're going to be cooking pizzas with the Uni pizza oven. My buddy Mark, who runs Thule. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a work app that you can use to take all your notes, help like fill out your paperwork. It's TULLI. It's in the App Store on Apple and on Google or whatever. So you can do. He's coming. He's going to make the pizzas. He's got like a dough recipe. And if you haven't seen those Uni pizza ovens, you're going to like this, man. It's wood fire pizza, like on the spot. So we're going
to spell that for me, because I'm going to check that out.
Uni, OONI. You'll love it, Rigo. It's like something you're going to want to do in your backyard. I can see you smoking on your cigars, like making pizzas. And
yeah,
like,
absolutely,
dude. It's awesome, man. So if you like it, you should bring your pizza oven too. And we have like we could have a fucking pizza oven cook-off, dude.
You can have a pizza cook-off. I know. I'm getting ready to do some cook-offs. I've got. Oh yeah, we just finished up a 2-day soak on some ceviche. So we've had that going, right? Cooking in lime, and we just finished it up last night. So I can't wait to grub on that today.
Do you eat that with crackers? Like, how do you eat it?
Be ready, and we got brisket that's going to get started, and that'll do its marinade for about 48 hours, and give it a little bit of a. How do you
eat ceviche? Do you eat it with? I like it with like Ritz crackers. I don't know. I'm weird, but like
it's because you're white.
That's
because you're white.
Do you put it in a tortilla?
Okay, I still love you, dude, but it.
I'm pink, dude. If you haven't noticed, I bear like got me, man.
No, you do it with a tostada, or you do it with corn chips, or
tostada.
Right, that's the way to do it. I'll send you a picture, but I'm gonna tell you what, my ceviche's bomb.
I bet it is.
We're getting into some smoking though too. We're gonna do, like I said, some brisket and ribs. And look, I'm excited about the fourth. This is the first fourth in almost 5 years that I've been able to do it at home. All my kids are home. My son's home. Everybody's home. And I'm excited for it. So listen, you guys.
Are you guys doing fireworks?
Oh,
you know it, right? Dude, I love my small town fireworks show and all these people. It's just such a cool thing, man. It's like my favorite holiday.
So, we live in Kansas, so we have very few limitations on what we can buy. So I'm gonna tell you what, we are definitely going to blow some beep up, and that is for sure. If I could show you, I got 2 huge white, the big fold out
on the intro.
Just
next week when you blow stuff up.
I will. We're actually gonna be throwing cameras on it and everything else. So Neal, dude, I love what we're doing. We're running late. We got to be respectful of everybody else's time. This has been fun. I cannot wait till next week. You guys, please, if you like,
share this around.
What was that, Neal?
I just said share this around, man.
Yeah,
like, if
share
you
it
see
around. Let people know, man.
Share it.
Yeah, absolutely. And let us know what you guys want to see. So we're hoping to do a lot more next week. I'm pumped, man. Real quick, before we go, I want to show that sweet intro that my marketing team put together in like 20, 30 minutes right before we jumped on. I'm going to drop this. I'm going to come back, say hello and goodbye. And again, we've got to do something. I want to give away some swag. I got some. Neal's got some
swag.
I'm down to put together some really cool stuff, but you got to give us a reason to give it away. Neal, while I drop this, what do you think of an idea?
How about we do this? Let's do this. All right. Peep this. Anybody who like texts that number gets entered to win. Like, you got to get in on this. Like, to do this.
Oh, I like it. How about this? Ooh, yes, I like that. How about we take the 10th, right?
Oh, the 10th person?
Yep. I would say this every 10.
I got a hat I could give.
How about this? Every 10. I got a sweet grunt style MW Partners shirt.
Oh, that shirt was sick, dude. I remember you made that shit.
Yeah, grunt style made.
I was like jelly. I was like, I want that shit. Like, how did this?
All right, you got a hat. So we're gonna do two. And for the first person to be the 10th subscriber into the community, we're gonna give that away. Right? Let me tell you what. Once you're in, we're gonna enter you for all kinds of stuff. Right? Yeah.
I'm entered. You got my text last week.
What?
You got my text last week, I think.
I did. All right, let me drop this video. I want to watch it again. It's cool. We'll have to do something really neat with it. Hold on.
I like it.
It's so dope.
It might stick.
Dude, I love my marketing team. So, all right, guys. Hey, Neal, thanks, man. Love it that you're here. Thank
Damn
you
it, Donnie. You're doing awesome.
Next Wednesday, what's the date? Somebody tell me the date.
Today's the 30th. Oh, next Wednesday.
Today, next
7th.
Next Wednesday, the 7th. All right, next Wednesday.
I'm gonna be more sunburnt.
What?
I'm gonna be more sunburnt.
I bet. Dude, we are entering a third quarter, new half of the year. Let's talk next time about what we're doing and how we're going to help you improve whatever it is. I want to know what your tips and tricks are so we can get this to happen. We got a couple comments that I didn't really get to post. Thank you guys for watching. I love it. Hey, we'll talk to you guys soon. Neal, we good?
Peace.
All right, out. We'll talk to you guys later.